So the Win Millions series just ended. I work part-time as a poker dealer there. It's my last day of work before I have like 3 weeks off, so I'm gonna go play some poker. But first I got this bag of tips I've been collecting for a few months. I'm gonna go weigh it and see how much it weighs, just because I'm curious. Nice, we got 10 pounds of bankroll ammo. So I get off work, and of course I make my way immediately back into the room after getting changed. I need to cash out my tips. It actually took me like 5 minutes to rack up all my chips. I found a green chip in there though, which means one person really liked me as a dealer. Anyways, we have an extra $505. We go get chips, buy in for 3K, and we start the game shorthanded. This is 5-5 PLO with a rock. Alright, first hand, we look down at a pretty janky 9-2-3-4, but it's double suited, so I can't resist. Someone opens to 20 and it goes 4-way. Flop is King 3-4 and it checks through. Turn is a 3 of clubs and we make a boat. I think you can either bet or check here. We went with a check. Checks to the button and he bets 60 into 80. And then I put in a check raise to 210. He thinks for a bit and then he folds and he shows me a 3 for trips. He looks at me and he says, you're the only player at the table that I would fold this to. Basically meaning he thinks we're a big nit. Hand number 21, we find King 10 8 7, single suit on the button. We open to 30 and it goes 3-way. Flop is King 5-2, 2 clubs. We go about half pot, 50 into 95, and they both call. Turns an 8 of spades, which gives us top 2, and now we have to go bigger here because there's 2 players in the pot in a pretty dry texture, so we bet 225 into 245, and they both fold, and we pick up a nice little pot. Another button hand on hand number 28. We have King 10 7-4 double suited. I open to 30 and the big blind 3 bets us to 100 and I call. So there are 2 types of players at a poker table when they 3 bet you. There's the ones who basically only 3 bet super premiums and ace ace, and sometimes not even ace ace, they just flat those. And then there's some people who 3 bet wide, they're looking for action. And just looking at this player, he kind of feels like the latter. Flop comes ace 2-7 with 2 spades. It's a pretty good board for his range because he should have a lot of aces, which I don't really believe he has. And he bets 80 into 215, which makes me believe even more that he probably doesn't have aces. I call here with my 10-eye flush draw. Turns a 3 of spades, he checks, and I just bet 350 into 375 just on the off chance he has aces and we were going to charge him. If he raises, we're just going to fold, but he quickly folds. Seems like he didn't really have much of a decision here. So our friend in the cutoff who folded that first hand face up kind of looks like Hawkeye from the Avengers, so I'm just going to call him Jeremy from now on. Jeremy opens to 45, and we have the rock and the button with King, Queen, Deuce 4, double suited. We call here, and I think the big blind also calls, so it goes 3-way. The flop comes Jack of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, 7 of spades. So we have a really bad backdoor spade draw and a front door king high flush draw. Jeremy bets 85 into 140, and only I call. Turns an ace of clubs, and he pots it here. So here the ace of clubs actually gives us a double gutter because we have the deuce 4 for the wheel gutter, which we should get paid off on if he has something like aces. And also we have the queen king Broadway draw. I think we for sure have enough equity here, and we have pretty disguised equity with our straights. So we make the call. And the river brings a 6 of diamonds. I expect him to check here, but he bets 450 into about 930. And this is not a great spot for us because when he bombs the turn like that, he should have a lot of ace X, which means he could have the nut flush with the ace of diamonds. But at the same time, I think most people generally size bigger with the nut flush, and they tend to get a little greedy. So we think for a while, we call, and he announces flush without turning it over. So we just turn over our hand first and show him the king eye flush, and he mucks. I'm not really sure how I like his river play, but it's hard to say without knowing his exact cards. Hand number 45, we pick up ace, queen, 5-6 double suited on the button. I make it 40 after a limper, and it goes three-way. Flop comes king 3-6 with two clubs, so we flop the nut flush draw and second pair. Here I just bet 40 into 125. I actually like using these sort of down bets. I don't mind if I get raised here. I don't block top pair, which is pretty important. And both players call. It also keeps worse draws in because it's such a cheap price. I really don't mind if a straight draw also stays in since they're not doing very good against flush draws. The turn's a 10 of diamonds, and they both check. So I do have the option to double barrel here, and I don't think that's a terrible option. But three-way, since I don't have a king and I didn't turn a 10, I think I'll just take my free equity here and check back, as king 10 could definitely go for a turn check pot. So I check, and the river is a jack of diamonds. Both players check to me again, and I fire 180 into 245. And the small blind kind of tanks for a while, and then he throws in the chips. So we're definitely good here. We show him the ace queen, and he mucks. Alright, so the next hand is hand number 51, and the player, a player just got stacked, and he reloads to about 300-400, and he pots, and we have double suited jacks on the button, and we defend, and it goes heads up. Flop is 4-9-6 with two diamonds, and he just pots 85, and he has about 260 behind. We decide to just call here. We could shove, it doesn't really matter. But if he has some sort of a weird bluff hand, we just let him keep bluffing. We're never folding this hand at any point. Turn is a 2 of diamonds, and he shoves the rest in. He's too short, so of course we have to call with our jack high flush. And we're good against king 6-8 with just the naked king of diamonds. I'm not sure if he was bluffing or if he was just shoving just because, but we take down a nice little pot. Next hand, hand 54, is a bomb pot, and I really hate bomb pots, but I still play them because it's the only way I can get unstuck from bomb pots. I'm probably stuck like 7,000 or 8,000 lifetime. There's not that much skill to it. It's kind of just a gamble and hope to hit both boards. And we smash one of the boards. We hit top set with second nut flush draw and just naked kings on the other. I bet 100 5-way, and only one player calls. Turn is a 7 of spades on the top, 3 of spades on the bottom. Pretty much bricks, and we pot for 325, and he thinks for a bit, and he folds. I don't think there's any other way to play this spot. You want to apply max pressure and allow them to make the max mistake because he doesn't know which board you're playing, and you pretty much have one locked up. The next hand number 58, I butchered really badly, and I didn't realize it until I was reviewing my notes. The hijack opens to 30, and we call with no suit, ace, king, queen, 10. And small blind also calls. Flop comes 3-4-9 rainbow, and it checks through. Turns a queen of spades, and it checks again to me on the button, and I just bet 60 into 95, and just small blind calls. The river is a queen of hearts, and he checks, and for some reason I completely lost track of what the sizings were, so I bet 75 into what I had initially thought was like 125 or 140. I didn't realize the pot was 215. And he check raises me to 250, and normally since I bet so small, this is a pretty easy call, but because I had thought I bet pretty large, and he check raised me despite me betting kind of large, it's usually a spot that people don't have bluffs, so I ended up folding, which is pretty awful, but I'm not that big of a nit, I swear. So the next significant hand, number 67, is a pretty fun one. We pick up double suited kings, and undergun opens to 40. We flat here, which is pretty standard given its undergun range. And then you can see from the video that our friend Jeremy Renner has got $40 in chips, about to cross the line when seat 3, who just got stacked recently, he instantly sticks his entire short stack in. Jeremy sees this and he's just like, wait, never mind, I'm not gonna do anything yet. There's a huge argument about whether he called the bet or not. And then seat 3 points at me and goes, ask this guy, he would know. And I say, no, this is not my business, you have to call the floor. Floor gets called over, she hears what happens, and ultimately she rules it a forward motion, which I think is a fine ruling. If you look at the video, I think there was intent to call the 40, and he changed his mind because he saw seat 3's action, but at the same time, seat 3 should not act so quickly and excitedly out of turn. Anyways, back to the hand, it actually folds around to me. Despite seat 3's excitement, I tell him I'm gonna gamble here with him, which I think is fine against a short stack with double suited kings, and he quickly goes, no, please don't, which is kind of funny. I also tell Jeremy that I will give him his $40 back if I win the pot. I'll gamble with you.
I don't want you to gamble.
Why?
Okay, I don't have aces.
If I win, I'll give you your 40 back. Yeah. We win the pot. We beat Queen, Queen, Jack, Jack. And we also return the $40 to seat 2 because poker's not about the money. It's about the friends we make along the way, or something like that. Anyways, it was a pretty tame session overall. I ended up cashing out about $49.70 for about almost 2K profit. And we played a lot of hands, but we were short-handed for a lot of it. Hope you guys liked my first video. Not sure if I'll do more in the future. It was a lot of work, a lot of time editing. Let me know what you think.